Hey, storytelling Ron here, and I'm doing vlog 7 of my Storm King's Thunder. Siege of Goldenfields. This was an awesome build up, like the third and fourth level in Storm King's Thunder. And this was an awesome build up to the way I'm playing it. I'm playing it just to remind everyone linearly. They're going to go through every hill giant or giants. And I'm taking out the whole all by father in the middle thing. They're going to the hill giants, stone giants, frost giants, fire giants, cloud giants, to the storm giants. Because I want Storm King's Thunder to be about giants. I'm old school. I played the old one, the old Giant series, and it's anyway. You can look at my first video, Storm Kings or whatever DM tips on how I'm going to run the story. But here's my vlog 7, the what playthrough. And I am trying to get it so that we could actually do live actual play video, but we only got 2 players right now that are kind of getting settled as actual, and a third one, but he's always working off and on, so I can't really. I'm trying to get I want to get a couple more players in there here in Hollywood, and it's a little, I don't have a lot of all the friends I used to play with are all moved away. We all life choices, so still trying to get that going, but I just feel like I need a couple more players in there than just 2 guys. And I mean, the 2 guys that were playing were great, and we had a lot of fun. And the third guy, he's again, he's on off and on. And then I'm trying to find other players that it's a good matchup, and they can show up. The time I have is a little off, I guess, for people. Thursdays 6 to 9 p.m. So it's a little tricky, and it's what I got right now. Anyway, Goldenfields, Siege of Goldenfields. So this is like the way I set up sort of my info on, when I'm my quick info on when I'm DMing, and characters and names and who they are, and what little things there are going on. And this is a lot of this is obviously from Storm King's Thunder. I mean, this is Storm King's Thunder, but I changed some of it, based on what I felt like. For instance, the grove here, I brought in all the trees that are perhaps mentioned in the story. I don't know if Barkham's mentioned it or I just made it myself. I'm not sure. But Turlang is one, and he's out, I think, a grove somewhere else. And then I brought him in because I wanted to, again, I don't want a bunch of side quests, or unless they kind of are going towards the same thing. And I took out all those NPCs with side quests. I don't want any of that. I want there's to be, if you put a lot of side quests into these type of campaigns, then it becomes like, well, what are we doing? Where are we? So you really want that epic kind of railroady. They love it. You want epic, like we're here to save, and be heroic. So what happened? So they obviously I mentioned I don't even remember what happened in vlog 6, but vlog 7. They're running now. They know that the giants are coming down from the river. They built a bridge, a land crossings, because they're going to bring giant wagons. It was cool. And so the 2 characters rushed back, got it back in. I made it very funny. I made the player the town the druidic enclave, and then the Water Davian noble sycophants who are assigned to guard Goldenfields are just they're wussies, right? They're so I made it very hilarious. They're trying to the giants are coming, and they're all like, settle down. So they had a hard time. So they talked to the priest, Darovik the priest, and then they went to Lord Tarn, and and the guards are like, you know what I mean. So it was a long, hilarious, man. The elder ranger, get upset, and then the younger ranger's like, ooh, whatever, because that's kind of the characters they play. And but then as they're getting frustrated, I get them really frustrated. You want to get their damn the character's frustrated, but you got to have a way out, right? You got to have a relief for them. I love to get them tight into a spot where they're frustrated with NPCs, and that's what you got, and that's important. Really, and then bring them out of it though. Make sure you got something that brings them out of it. The thing I brought them, the distant horns. What's that? The guardsmen and the city guard are like, what is that? So the city guard, the Water Davians, I really kind of brought out that they're from the Water Deep, and they're assigned to guard Goldenfields, and they don't want to do anything because this is just a they don't want to be brave, they don't want to cause any problems. But the horns blaring are obviously from miles away over here at the northern towers, And what is that? I think that's an alarm, you know. So that was their yes, yes, yeah, you know. So it was very frantic. We got to go out there. The Giants, you know. And of course, the priest came along in his little cart, and they had little, you know, little discussions. And Lord Tarn took their horses, and well, I'm going to go there. And what's funny is for Lord Tarn, he you know, he takes their horses and like, what the heck? And but he disappears. Like they don't know where he is yet. But the rest of the campaign, he's like hiding because he's a coward. But anyway, they go up with the priest and finally get up there, and it's already under siege. A couple of these towers are under siege. You know, the giants are throwing rocks, and they get up there. So let me show you what I do for this map. And I use, I'm in my garage, and I use a widescreen 43-inch TV. You know, lay it down on the table, and I'm probably at some point I hope to saw out and lower it a little, but it works fine right now. It's just placed on the table, and they have their character sheets kind of underneath the TV. You know, like on the table. But it's a 43-inch widescreen 4K, $200. I highly recommend it. I mean, you don't have to print out maps. You know, I mean, if you want to draw stuff, obviously you got to be savvy with all the digital Photoshoppy, you know, whatever, which I love doing. But or you could get like on battle maps on Reddit. Reddit has great battle maps. Like I try to put a couple there once in a while of the things I've drawn. But really great stuff. You just plan it on there, and with GIMP is free software. You can use that. It's just as powerful as Photoshop. It doesn't draw as well, which is why I but you know that doesn't. That's only if you're really trying to do sketchy stuff. And but as far as just drawing, it works perfectly fine. But if you want that fine little, you know, Photoshop is felt better. But then there's other programs that I'm sure can do even better than that, sketching wise. But why am I talking about this? I'm digressing. Anyway, so what I do is I get my Photoshop out, and because I have my laptop, and then I have the TV on the table as my second screen. I just drag this over. You know, I take this and drag it over to the TV, and I of course rotate it as well. You can image rotate it so that they always get the, you know, the right view, and I'm looking at it from upside down. But that's fine. I get used to that now, and I have to do it every time now when I play out there. But as you can see, let's just see this little red square, like that's the TV that they see, whatever they're seeing. And so I'm showing them, like, you know, they're coming up through, and you know, I'm getting them sense of people are scared and hiding, and the farmers and the druids and the hippies, and, you know, kind of like a hippie commune thing. But they get up to here and see, and I even use miniatures like paper. I'll just show you a real quick shot of. I'll show these later as well, but. And I do use paper minis, by the way, and they're very handy. Very. I'm gonna do a little spoiler picture here, but I want to show you what I'm doing. Open that up. Oh, not that one. Let me see if I can get to. Okay, so you can see there's a TV, and I got this acrylic covering on the TV, and I'm putting down because acrylic on the TV. That's, you know, you're gonna protect the TV. And what's funny is that acrylic thing was $60. It's like almost as much as the TV itself. Okay, so there's the two characters right here, and I hope you can see that. I'm assuming you can see that. Let me just look. Yeah. Okay, so here's the two characters right here, and they're on this cart with the priest, Darvercan, whatever his name is. I got a little meal here, and most of these I drew myself. So these are my paper minis. On my Patreon, if you want them, and just for $1, you can download whatever you want. Okay, and I'm trying to. The priest is not mine. That's not my original artwork or the characters, but these other guys are. I haven't drawn a lot of stuff. I've just put on there as for free for the public as paper minis, and I'm trying to get more of those on there as well. It's not my artwork though. Those ones are free to everyone. I'm not making, you know, I'm not trying to make money off of that. And also, I'm not really trying to make money. I'm just like, you know, I just want to share it, but I want to, you know, put a little effort into, you know, supporting me. But anyway, so these are all mine too. Little horses. I drew her and the little dwarf druid guy, or halfling druid guy, and they're coming along to help. But as you can see, the underneath is the Goldenfields, the actual map. I just zoomed it out. Just, you know, it looks fine. I mean, it gets the point across, and it's not obviously to scale. Like this is about 300 feet or so. But they get, you know, we get the issue. They're all coming through here, and I'll explain what's going on there in a sec. So yeah, I just zoomed out this area over here, and that's where that action was happening. And and that it works totally fine. Like right here, I'll just show you when I zoomed out. Yeah, see, it's pretty close, and then that's like what they'd see on the TV, and obviously it's not 5-foot scale type of thing, but it's fine. It works totally fine when I do range stuff as well, but I just guesstimate it. Okay, so yeah, they're running over here. The Giants have come in, and they don't. Now here's the cool thing. What happened was the city guard is all freaked out, but they're like, we're not doing anything. And I'm just trying to expedite the story here. What happened is, so the Giants threw down a bunch of trees, like uprooted trees, and threw them at the base of the tower there, and they don't know why. They don't care. They're just hiding up on top. The Giants are out here throwing rocks. They ran back and started throwing rocks. And of course, one of the Rangers, sharpshooter, he just starts, tagging the Giants, and they're like, the Giants are getting pissed off. And the other one's like, well, then they're like, they don't know what's going on with those trees. See, I like adding these elements of. So what is going on with the trees is that the Giants threw them down. Goblins are sapping with a boulet, with a pet young boulet, and they went underneath the tower, and they're see, pretty cool, huh? So this is a real siege. I wanted the siege of Goldenfields to be a real siege. I wanted the Giants to get in, and start freaking out the Goldenfields. I didn't want it to just be like groups of goblins and bugbears coming in with some ogres. And I don't see ogres climbing a 60-foot wall. I don't know. I don't believe that would. Anyway, but the whole goblin chucker thing that they have in it, I was just that didn't. It just didn't get to me, It didn't really affect. I thought at first it was kind of cool. Maybe if they're just chucking rocks and being that way, but I just felt like, yeah, Giants could just throw things. Why do they need to? Giants could just chuck the goblins. Why would they need that? So I didn't really. That was not to me interesting. Anyway, but I still love the whole world and the story and all that. So I just had the Giants. So yeah, that's what they're doing. They're getting that. They have a pet boulet that they kind of control. I was thinking about doing like a sound thing where they draw the boulets, but I was not worried about that. So they got this pet boulet, he's digging around, and he acts like a big giant bulldog, and the bugbears are controlling it, and but they don't know yet. So they don't know that it's being sapped. The tower's about to be, collapse in on them. So, but they're concerned. Why are the trees down there? So one ranger stays up and shoots, and he's doing sharpshooter, getting some XP. And the other one's like, okay, I'll go down. But what's funny is the sharpshooter's like, okay, make sure if you see anything, you come back up. The other guy plays his character. Okay, sure, But anyway, so here's my map of the tower. This is the main floor. They come down on these stairs to the main floor. I messed it up a little. I didn't make the stairs work very well. I should have, but whatever. I was told them. I finally realized it. And that's fine. But so he came down here. Nothing. Fine. Then he heard some noises down here. And he has a pet. He's a beast. The more doofy ranger, because only 2 rangers, has a pet companion, the beast companion thing. So he's got a lizard, kind of like a Komodo dragony sized lizard. He picked as his little. And we didn't really understand it all yet, and I researched it, so I got to know better. But so it was kind of weaker than I think, but whatever. He played it fine. It did some attacks, but he came down, and let me get this picture. And of course he discovered the goblins, and let me find this. Where's the one we got 3? Yeah, here. So this is cool. He comes down. The die represents his little lizard, and I made these goblins just come on, hurry up, because they're looting. They're trying to grab the goblets and the food, and they got little sacks and all that. We gotta hurry up, hurry. I was trying to give him like little clues, like we gotta hurry before everything goes. But he's like, but what's cool is like the other guy's like, come back up and tell me. But he just like, I'm gonna go down and shoot, sharpshoot him or hit him in the back. And he doesn't have sharpshooter. He just has a regular bow, so it's not even gonna do that much damage or whatever. But he ends up killing him, and I start in my previous like combat grindy thing that I mentioned, and another one where you don't just make everything so straightforward. Like when he shot this one, I rolled to see if they even cared or noticed, and they rolled low, like 4. I think under 8, I would have just said they kept going. So they were still looting while he was killing one after another, and it was pretty hilarious. And they kept going. He would they would and the both it was cool. The both players were like, yeah, each time he dropped one because obviously the other ranger's like, he can't handle this. He can't handle this. What is he doing? He's got to come up. But he just got each one of them, and they kept the last one like turn around. What the and with the lizard helped. They got him. So that was just the. But at that point he said, okay, I'm gonna go back up and tell the other guy. The other guy's, oh, thank you. Finally. So that was pretty funny. So that was this space here, and then he goes back up to the top and tells the other guy up here. And what's funny is that guy's like, let me get one more shot off, and the giants finally hit him. There's 4 giants, and he was working them, and they kept missing him because I made their stone throwing less skillful than the fighting. I don't feel like they have the same skill, like it's like +6 or +8 or whatever. I don't feel the giants. They have like a really high, to hit, right? To hit you. But I don't think that their stones, when they throw things, is going to be as powerful. So I lower those. Because they're scary, because those do more damage. And when they do hit, whoa, it's scary. So so the hill giants were pretty low skilled as far as their throwing. But one finally got it. Like an 18 or something. Boom, hit the rock, hit him. He took like 30 damage. It was pretty funny. He's down and because he's like, let me just get one more shot off, and the city guard are all hiding and cowering. But I did roll, and when he recovers, they got to go back down. And when the first guy was, this was funny. That's what I'm trying. When the first guy was coming down here, I told him a crack along the side of the wall was, came up because obviously you can see here this is where the boulet is doing his sapping. And trying to break the foundations of the tower, just and so they so it was funny is that he was like, okay, and he didn't really. The other guy, the sharpshooter guy, was like, oh my god, I should have taken a picture of his face, and it was for a long time, like something's happening, something scary is happening. But anyway, so as they're going back down, I rolled kind of a leader. There's no like leadership skill. It's like it's either intimidate or persuade. I wish there was kind of a leadershipy role, but whatever. So he did intimidate, and he got he rolled a little sort of medium. So I gave him a couple of city guard to come down with him, and so that was cool. They came down, and of course, there's doggy. They come down, and of course, they go all the way down to the bottom layer, and then boom, they see this like rubble, and this little boulet is running around, and of course, one of the bugbears chased after the guy. Actually, I forgot about that, but he outran him. But so the bugbear came back down and was ready for them. So when they came down here, they see this, and of course, this is all the dugout areas, and the boulet is just going down like, oh my gosh, it's gonna collapse, and then there's cracking going along the walls. Obviously, all these holes. So they had a good fight. It was a really great fight. And like I said in my other video, the Grindy Combat one, I really, I've been doing this for a while, or I've been doing it, but I realized I got to make a video on that, on how I break down and make things more kind of funny, dynamic with a lot of fumbles. I increase the fumble number. 1 is obviously the worst, and then 4 is more of a hesitation, goofiness, and then I also do a morale roll to see if these guys will even help them. Kind of thing. It's just very simple. It's just one roll, and it moves the story along quickly because sometimes they don't even attack, or even the bad guys, and it adds it's not the same anymore. It adds a level of change in the combat and of opportunities, or of increased danger. So this was a fun fight. I just took another shot there. Those 2 guys are all intense, getting ready for this battle. And that was a bet. One of them went down and had to do some death saves, and the other one barely, with the city guard getting worked. The bullet charged. I had him do that leap. He's a young one, so he had less. He was still a lot of damage, but he had less than an adult one. But it was a lot of fun. I made this guy sneak off. So he didn't show up until a little bit later, and came up behind him and tried to attack from behind. And I had the bugbears have a jig juice where they. Yeah, and blood red eyes, and they got like a +1 in the resistance damage, so that was tough. So this was a tough fight for them. And then I of course had a guy come and help him at the end because let me see if I took a picture of the guy. Oh yeah, So see, there's all the dead guys, and they're all way over here, man. There was a lot of movement. It was cool. I wished I would have used more of the tunnels. I didn't use the tunnels as much as I thought I was going to have a more dynamic fight, but that's fine. It was still a good fight. But at the very end here, they were desperate. He was down to like a couple hit points after being revived by him. They had an opportunity. This was the guy that snuck around, and there's the pet lizard back there. But the bullet was still full health, way power. He took out all the city guard. They were very ineffective. They kind of helped a little bit, but they were ineffective. And to be honest, the players did not use the city guard like they should have. They should have. And my players don't know that I have this channel, so don't want them to know. But anyway, they should have went behind them, and used their archers and had them defend. And that could have actually been a very. That's what I was hoping they would do. It could have been very effective because the guards had a good armor class. They just didn't have very good attacks. They were so scared, but they could have helped hold them off while they were, and done their stuff at least for a little while, and then they could have charged. But they came up. They just came up, and it was kind of a mess at that point. So you got to give them those opportunities to have things like that. But they got to learn the hard way. They got to learn their own way. And they had potions like resist damage and other things that they could have used to help them. And they used a little bit, but they could have used more because it was. I need to emphasize too that just use your stuff immediately. Don't hold it, for the next better fight. It's really for DMs and players. It's really just use it. Use everything you got, because you're gonna get because the only way you can get more is if you use it and you get I need to get some more, make it just more intense. So that was that. Now they succeeded in stopping the one tower from collapsing, but of course I'm going to make another tower collapse. So they got out of there. Well, but of course the priest and all that came along, and some of the NPCs like this guy was this little half orc guy. He's like the brewmeister guy, in the story. Where do I have him? I'm just showing you. Thunderblade, the plump half orc, strong Thunderblade. But of course I had him do a Warhammer. That's just what I drew. Which I think you might have. I don't know, whatever. Okay, so then what happened was, let me go. And the reason I'm explaining this and just going through this because I just enjoy doing it, but also I enjoyed people's videos who the actual plays, and then I just want to explain how I do it, just maybe give you ideas and blah blah blah. So though they saved this one, it's still damaged because of the sapping, but they saved that one. This one collapses. Boom, 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 and I gave them the visual. 2 miles away over there, plume of smoke. You hear the thunder, of the rock. And, and the priest and the city guard are like, not in a, many, many generations, thousands of years, no one's ever, come to attack Goldenfields and destroy the, you know what I mean? Like that kind of. And the ranger's like, we gotta go help him. And then, I need healing though. So the priest healed them all because he's a priest. He's not gonna do anything else. So let him heal them. So he healed them all, and they're like, let's go. So that was cool. It was a big frantic to get over there. And then when they get over there, oh yeah. Now I wish I would have taken a better picture. But I think I have video actually. I don't know where the video's at. Is this it? Oh, yeah. Oh, let me bring this over here. So this is the video of it. I guess I could edit it in, but whatever. I'm just gonna play it here. But that's not the video. Is this the video? So yeah, this is the setup, and so obviously it's not to scale. The giants are coming through that crumbled rock, and I emphasize, I brought in some other minis, and it's a big battle. But again, like I explained in the Grindy Combat video I did, I role played off this portion. Like I had it to where so this is the player characters right here, and the priest, and then I had the brewmeister, and then the barkeep guy or whatever. They're the only ones that were willing to fight. Like everyone else is too scared. Well, there's the mage. She's a mage on a horse, and they came along to help, and of course the Trents. And these are my little mini mobs where I do minis, and then I'll try to collect them together as little mobs so that you can have like a regular town archer would be a challenge rating of quarter or a half, right? So, but with a group like that, I do like a challenge rating of 1 or 2. They got more hit points. Their attack is, maybe 1 roll or 2 rolls, but maybe 1 roll with 3 die 6 or 3 die 8. So I kind of increase that, and their hit points are higher, obviously. And I made a little, in my Patreon, I did a little rule set, but obviously you can do your own thing. And of course, you see the goblins there. See, so now this feels like a larger battle, and obviously there was more than that, but I just threw in a couple, and I didn't want to get too crazy. We wanted to get the action going on, and then of course I had the giants coming. But anyway, the priest and all that said, you guys deal with the giants, and and we'll deal with the goblins and bugbears and all that. So like, cool, yeah, we'll do that. So the rangers are totally like shooting these giants as they're coming through, and there's only 4 of them coming through, and they're throwing rocks, and they did demolish the archers here. And again, for this, I had the giants. The giants didn't only attack the rangers, right? I had them kind of roll where they're attacking, kind of that, 1 die 6 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. So it wasn't like they were, I mixed it up quite a bit, but I played it really quickly. Like, I just had the Trent just roll once, and I didn't roll hit points. Just the wolf and the goblin go flying, kind of thing. It's really quick. And I just had the 2, the bar guy and the brewmeister. They just met up with them and just held them off, kind of thing. And then so the rangers did their thing. And the giants came this way at them, like because they saw the arching and the arrows. So what happens is at the end here, I guess kind of a jump because we were into it, man. We were into the fight. It was great. But they were working them and dropping them with his sharpshooter, and the other guy had his lizard, and I made the lizard, man. The lizard just was biting the giant's feet, and the giants just didn't know because there's all these bushes. The lizard's really small. They can't see him. They don't even know what's going on. So that was kind of cool. And then this the grandfather Turlang, the older one. He comes later. He doesn't even come in the fight, but whatever. But so they they take him out. Once the giants got to around 60 hit points of damage, they started fleeing. So the ranger's like, no, I'm taking them down. So he started, killing them off as they were trying to retreat. And that was the end of the battle. Like the giants were fleeing, and there were other giants out there, right? The ones that didn't collapse that tower, and they were coming to converge on that spot. But by the time they got there, the other giants were fleeing, so they all just fled. So that was like, the end there, and the rangers like, yeah, it was cool. It was a lot of fun. So anyway, that's how I did it. That's how I did the Siege of Goldenfields. He was cool. He did some serious damage. He was a tough one. And Liverless was cool. Like he was getting hit and hurt, and he was trying to fight back, but I made him very like cryy, like he never fought before, and and they're like, oh my gosh, we gotta help him, protect him and all that. So that was kind of cool. And then he came along at the end, and we pretty much ended there. It was definitely end of the night. But he broke off branches to give to them because they're both kind of weak. Like they don't have like a lot of magic yet, even though they're 3rd or 4th level, and they're now I think 5th level and 4th because they got a lot of XP with this one. Although I gave him a little too much because I should have broken it down a little more. I did break it down, but not enough. I think when I was rethinking it, because they had help. But anyway, he broke off branches, gave it to them to make bows. So they're both like, they got these, Trent branches for making bows, and that's going to be cool. I'm working on that. And this is one cool thing I'll probably do another video, but and I think I have. But anyway, I'm starting to get to the point where I like making magic items that grow with the characters. So this branch they're going to make into a bow is going to be their Turlang bow, but it's going to grow. It's going to have like not grow size, grow in magic. So it's going to be +1 now, with maybe one little extra thing in there. I'm not sure yet, extra damage or extra sharpshooter or something. But as they get raised up, they notice that their bow ages with them and gets stronger. It's going to get a +2. Oh my gosh. And, a leaf grows out, or maybe an acorn grows out of it and gives them another awakened tree, or maybe it wants water and some sun, and they let it sit in some enchanted place and it'll grow strong. You know what I mean? So it's going to grow with them and have extra. I kind of like that because it's kind of cool because it makes it like, as they journey, they journey along with their weapon, and something, cool happens with it. So that's the way I'm going to do those bows, depending on their, it's going to, the bow's going to have a personality based on their character, So that's cool. So that was the end of that. So this is cool. And they're like, so of course the Goldenfields are like, okay, we want you to go and hunt these giants and where they're coming from. This is ridiculous. They never do this. They've never attacked like this and done this. And so that's going to be cool. So, and the people, the Goldenfields are going to repair but they're going to give them a couple of gifts and help them out. Hopefully I'll get another player or two in there to help them out as well. But that was a lot of fun. But anyway, so that's my thing on vlog 7 of Storm King's Thunder diary thingamadinger. Okay, I hope you enjoy it. Hope it gave you some ideas. And thanks for all the other YouTubers putting in D&D stuff. Okay, that's it.